Now joining us, Adrian Rietveld from TaylorMade, who you also joined us last year on that fateful Tuesday.
I did, yeah. Thanks for having me back.
That's right.
Little better
no
circumstances.
No golf announcements today, okay? We're going to pass on that.
Oh, man. So how's your experience been at Hamilton so far?
Good. A little bit of kind of rain yesterday, but I think it's going to clear up. I just walked 9 holes with Adam Scott.
Right.
Doing some work with him, and had a look at the golf course. It's good. It's good. Rough's up, and the fairways are really tight. Like really good condition. Really, I think.
I got to play yesterday in the Pro-Am.
Yeah.
And I thought the greens were. I was telling these guys. I mean, you get the putter going this week. You started on you're going to make everything.
Yeah.
The greens are perfect out there.
It has got. It's like an old school kind of look to it, and I think the PGA Tour this season and of late, these courses are getting tougher and tougher, and
yes,
you can definitely see that character in where you have to be good tee to green,
right,
to kind of be able to get up there.
So you mentioned you're walking around with Adam Scott, Ryan Fox. Tell our audience what that actually means. How much are you looking at data? Are you looking at different clubs? Is it driver specific? Tell us about that.
So this particular time, Adam switched golf ball last week. He uses our Woods driver, mini driver, switches between a 5-wood and a 7-wood. And obviously, when you switch a golf ball, you need to just kind of check in through the bag.
Sure.
He played fine last week, and this week we just I'm just watching ball flight, really. I'm catching up with him. I'm watching ball flight. There are.
So is he looking for windows?
Yes.
And wants to. His eye needs to see that leaving through the correct window.
Yeah.
He's not going to feel comfortable under the gun with it.
And that will be the thing. So he switched irons last week. And the reason that he switched the ball was particularly for that, through the window. So for him, with the Woods and then the clubs that I work with him on, the spin rates were the same. It was just a different window, and he needed to make sure that kind of worked for him, which it did. So all good. Adam's good to go.
Oh, that's awesome. Now, when we look at the RBC Canadian Open, we look at the betting book, for example, on FanDuel, Rory McIlroy, the shortest odds to win at plus 330. And what's it like fitting Rory, who's a Team TaylorMade athlete?
Good. He's obviously world-class golfer.
Yes.
He is, when you work with him and then you kind of travel around the world and you kind of work with, more golfers,
sure,
you really see how big the difference is between somebody like a Rory McIlroy and majority of his peers. He's pretty set with his equipment. We all kind of won early in Dubai. So that helps, and he's had a pretty steady year, I'd say. Played amazing at Wells Fargo. How is it fitting him? You've been working with him for a long time, so you kind of know what he likes. An interesting one this year was he added an inch to his driver. He went back to a 45.5 driver from a 44.5, and that was purely because he felt like the head and the QI10 forgiveness that he gained kind of gave him the opportunity to go back to that longer length. What you get with that longer length is ball speed and more performance if you're able to handle that, and he felt he could, and that's been great. I mean, he's driven the ball unbelievably good this year, and I'd say back to a Rory McIlroy that I worked with very early on in my time with him.
I'm curious, and how often, if any,
Yeah.
I don't even know if this is a situation. It used to be, I guess, years ago.
Yeah.
But now that we're dealing with the technology, the numbers, we're talking about spin rate and windows, how often, if any, do the numbers spit one way on a world-class player? Like, this is clearly the loft. This is clearly the shaft. But the player just can't. It's not coming out the way they want it, or not what they're comfortable with or used to, and they go against the analytics. Does that happen any more these days?
I think it happens more than you think.
Wow.
Because you almost, the options are so vast and so wide that something that you can ask a player before you even look at those numbers is, what does it feel like? What does it look like? You're using all your senses, and you try and help keep that. So it's a confidence thing, but when the numbers are not.
It's not the
your
Bible,
number.
Right?
A perfect example. Your numbers are different to your numbers are different to mine, and I think what works for one player doesn't work for every player. So it's not a textbook. it's a meeting of the minds type of thing where you really, these guys are so good. You're the only way of getting success and products in play and success on the golf course is giving them what they want,
Right.
not what you think they need or what the
And
the science says.
And obviously at this level, unlike at our level,
Yeah.
right, we're talking like just tiny fractions of percentages. So at the end of the day, it's trust. Right?
100%, yeah, 100%. And I'll tell you, one of the he's not in the field this week, but a perfect example of that would be Scottie Scheffler.
Mm-hmm.
He's very, he walks around with the TrackMan. He has data checkpoints that he checks in, but
That's where it ends.
that piece of equipment ain't doing it ain't doing a quarter of the work that it's able to do.
Right.
That where you have a player who knows his game so well and has so much trust in what works for him. And yeah, who's to argue with that?
And he's been so good this year, as has Nelly Korda, obviously, too,
Yes.
both using QI10 products. And I was doing some reading, and I understand the process to get Scottie Scheffler into the driver, the gamer he currently has, was quite something. Tell us a little bit about that process.
Wow, yeah, that was. So that was me. That was me.
I know.
Many sleepless nights, right?
That was me, and that was. I think it must have been the Jonathan Wall article
Yes,
that you read.
yes.
A really good article,
Mm-hmm.
to be honest. And I thought he explained that exceptionally well. And that was all you have to do is go and have a look at the year Scottie had last year
Yes.
with Stealth 2, and there was no. There was no intent for him to switch anything. There's no forcing. He will play what's best for him. But he did challenge me, and he did encourage me to continue to work to find him what he wanted. I think that one of the most telling points of that was I was in Dubai with Tommy and Rory, and I had to leave them to then get to Palm Desert where Scottie was playing, because Rory and Tommy were pretty set. Tommy had just won the first event, and Rory went on to win the second one while I was on the aeroplane to Palm Desert, and Scottie played he played a pro-am at an off-site golf course, which he asked me to walk around with him, and this was on the Tuesday of the tournament, and he used nothing but QI10 for 20 holes. So it was a pro-am where he played. You play and then you drop back and you play with the next group. So he ended up playing 20 holes of golf because of him dropping back and playing the same hole twice. And in the in those 20 holes, he made 3 eagles and 11 birdies. So with and that to me, we were working on a putter. We were working with his putter as well, and he obviously had to putt really well, but. Going on to the Wednesday of that week, as we went to the Pro-Am at the tournament course, he said he could play QI10 with ease, but he would need to make a fraction of an adjustment, and he's not ready to do that. So for that reason, he's not going to play it this week, and we will continue to work next week as we went into Pebble Beach. And so you're going back to HQ like scratching now.
Right.
You're like,
Right.
okay, what
You
more?
make 11 birdies and 3 eagles. Where do we go from?
17 deep in 20 holes. What's going on?
Yeah, and I think when we eventually got there at in Phoenix, that was the first week that he played, and to be fair, he could have won that week as well. He was right there. The equipment was. He had no allegiance to the equipment that he was going to use. He just wanted to use what he felt was right. And that week was a very special week because he truly believed that was the right way to go. And you see the run he went on and the way he drove the ball at Arnold Palmer going into the Players Championship, not to mention the Masters.
Yeah.
You guys have had an exceptional year across all tours already, and we're not even halfway through.
Unbelievable.
It's unbelievable.
Really.
Are you surprised at the wide variety of QI10 that's won and gone in the bag? Because we've seen best players in the world use Max. We've seen the QI10. We've seen LS. We've seen variety. I thought that was so surprising because if we go back to the story of 5 years ago, 10 years ago, etc. It's like, okay, this is the model if you're a gamer, if this is a tour. And if you're a higher handicap, this is the model here. I thought this year's story with Q10 was so interesting and so different. And I was amazed at all the different varieties. Were you surprised when you were fitting in different stuff?
Mark, you wouldn't believe what a benefit that is for a rep or somebody who's an equipment specialist to have options.
Right.
Options is and how you create options is you give people something without taking something away. And I think as equipment evolves, you're trying to give forgiveness, but then you're sacrificing spin, or you're trying to you're adding this but it's going to be a mile slower in speed. So there's give and take, and I think when you're able to move weight around and use so much carbon in a golf club, and you're able to put weight in specific spots where you're not giving up something, now all of a sudden you've got a menu of products that can work for the best players in the world and also for your recreational golfer. Wow. And I think that's, like I say, when you're sending, we've worked with these players for a long time, so a lot of the time, like at our level, we're obviously visiting them and we're doing hands-on stuff, but sometimes you need to send product out. And it's nice to be able to trust 2 products that you can send out, and the feedback is like, I like this one for these reasons, and I like this one for this reasons, and I'm going to play this one going forward. And we're like, amazing, great. And you look at Nelly with that max head, and she's, what a superstar that is, right? And
Colin had the max for a while.
He did early on.
He started off with a max.
Yeah.
We've had a great time with Colin this year, and he's just about back playing to his
yes, he is.
His potential and
right
his standard.
there,
And he found he's one of just a handful of people who are now in the LS head, which is again, the amount of adjustability that you have in that head. Where you've gone to nearly 100% more weight that you can move around the head. I think that really kind of gravitated him towards that because he does have that very specific left to right ball flight, and
needs to trust that.
And he needs to trust that, yeah. And we got there with him, and he, we've hardly done much equipment work with him since he's switched, and that's sometimes a good thing, right? Because he's somebody who, when you look at his bag, he's played stuff for a long time, and great with all the guys, and as you say, we've been winning at every level, and you you just look at
dominant,
at even down to like Michael Thorbinson, who's just won the PGA Tour U, and he'll have a PGA Tour card going forward. That's how we measure success now. It's not about quantity, it's quality, and we certainly have all the funny our building in Carlsbad. So as you walk into the entrance, there's a huge kind of glass top to it, and we would, if Scottie wins the Masters, there's a huge thing there with Scottie on there. And I think last week Tommy had a week off, and he came and visited me and the TaylorMade team in a wasn't a different picture up there, and I was like, well, I'll have to just tell him the story that there's always a picture up there.
Get yourself up there.
Get yourself up there.
You mentioned Tommy Fleetwood. You do a lot of work with him, and I understand you did a lot of work closely with him in terms of caddying for him.
I did. Yeah. He's Tommy's caddy is recovering.
Yes, that's right.
From a big surgery, and he's doing great. And in the interim, I was asked to kind of help out. He's probably my best friend, so he just wanted somebody close to him on the bag, and so I caddied for him in San Antonio, and then we had one of the long-time local caddies at Augusta caddy for Tommy, and then I caddied for him in Harbour Town RBC. He's an experience. If you had asked me before I caddied for him the first time, I would have said I've done this before. But afterwards, I definitely hadn't. It was. I learned so much about him in San Antonio, which was cool. We were kind of in the feature group with Rory on Thursday and Friday, and then kind of second last group out with Rory again on the Saturday. And I'm never going to complain about slow play on the PGA Tour again. Everything moves so quickly, and there's so much going on, and it was amazing, really. And I'd do it again.
Anything from those experiences that you've brought back in the way you look at your job now?
For sure. I think you watch how people react to kind of like pressure situations a bit better. I think I definitely, you know, we working with Tommy. He's always had really good drivers. He's a really good driver of the golf ball. But I felt like caddying for him, I was able to help him. You know, just from understanding ball flight and understanding wind and all these things, I was able to help him drive the ball where I think he could move up 10, 20 spots in kind of your strokes gain driving.
Wow.
You know, if he normally finishes, say, between 30th and 60th, I really think that he could be a top 10 player in that regard statistically, and that's he's good enough to do that for sure. And as we look at the stats, I feel like he's trending that way.
Totally. And I mean, Mark and I both use the TaylorMade QI10.
What do you guys use? What?
I'm an LS guy.
Both of you.
I only hit the middle.
Right.
So
Mark only hits the middle. I have to tell you, though, Adrian, that with the new golf ball, the new TP5X golf ball and the QI10 LS driver, I am seeing ball speeds that I have never seen before. Now, before this driver, my dispersion was about 200 yards from left to right. We've narrowed the gap a little bit here, so I absolutely love the product. People on tour love the product, and it's all summarized by the new commercial. Nelly, Scottie, trophies. It's a new TaylorMade commercial, and those are pretty much the only
cool thing
lines.
is you could have put 8 names in there or 10 names in there all through the year, but that's the trophies. I mean, and the major trophies, right?
Yes.
I mean, I think that's.
I mean, it's been the year's 6 months in. And it's been not a great year. It's been a dominant year. You look at the most dominant wins of the year and dominant players of the year on all tours worth watching.
Yep.
It's TaylorMade.
Thank you. Yeah.
That's it. Full stop.
That's great. And we don't take it for granted. I mean, we're pretty humble, relentless pursuit for performance and stuff. And I think the key categories when you look at metal woods and carbon woods. Driver.
Yes, we got to change all our words. Where's my carbon wood?
You're looking at drivers. You're looking at golf ball. We've just launched an amazing golf ball. I think
golf ball's ridiculous.
So
I think it's absolutely
so good.
World class, out and out. For me, the best golf ball in golf.
And inside 100, it's
phenomenal. Yeah,
because
that's the surprise.
You expect, to your point when we were talking about fitting driver, you think, oh, okay, well, I'm going to get 5 more yards on my irons, or I'm going to be this. I'm going to lose something over here.
Exactly.
Nothing. Didn't lose a thing.
It's and then without leaving it on the bench. I mean, the putter thing has been phenomenal with Scottie and then the Spider and obviously it's Rory's been our flagship guy with Spider and watching him, hit world class golf shots all around Quail Hollow and followed up with a putter that's just so trustworthy for him. It's got a from an MOI to a forgiveness to it, also the visual technology and the true path and I'm very proud of the way we're going. I'm very proud of the way we're even down to like the custom part of the golf ball. I mean how much every custom and the My Symbol brand
so
and
cool.
Rory doesn't have a number on his ball. It just says his name, which he loves.
I love
that.
Isn't that cool? And and Charlie Hull's just got a picture of her face on the ball. So very, very specific to the guys, but that's fun, right? That's fun, and to make performance products which are out and out leaders in the industry, and then able to make them personal.
Still fun.
Personal. Yeah.
Well,
golf shouldn't be boring.
It shouldn't
golf
be.
Shouldn't be boring.
Well, hey, Adrian, this has been so much fun. Again, thanks so much for joining us, and good luck this week.
Thank you. Yeah, well, last year I got the playoff. So Tommy lost in a playoff.
That's
so
right.
Hopefully someone can go one better this year.
Yes, sir.